At first glance, an ordinary family, familiar friends, nothing hinting at the storm ahead. But behind the smiles lurk ultimatums, behind the toasts, betrayal, and behind the words, "Don't get mad, just hear me out," lies a perfect trap. One evening sets off a chain of events where masks fall, the game ends, and someone is bound to be cast overboard. But who will it be? The traitor or the one who stayed silent for too long? Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends or family. It really helps my channel a lot. Please tell me in which city or country you watched this video. I value every one of your comments. So, let's get started. I sat there in total silence, staring blankly into space. You're probably wondering what had me so stunned. My wife, Julie, had just looked me dead in the eye and, as casually as if she were asking what was for dinner, suggested taking a week to sleep with other men. My name's Matthew, and the worst part? I saw this coming. Deep down, I knew. But hearing her actually say it, out loud, was something else entirely. I needed a second to collect myself, to breathe, to not blow a gasket right then and there. Let me rewind a bit. I've never been the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm okay with that. I've owned it for years. This whole mess began about a week earlier at a BBQ my sister Bernilla hosted. There must have been 15 couples packed into her backyard. Drinks were pouring, people were laughing. It was shaping up to be a solid afternoon. Then someone decided to spice things up with a game of truth or dare. Bernilla kicked it off by daring her husband, Thomas, to give Kimberly a foot massage. Kimberly's husband, John, laughed and told Thomas to wash his hands afterward, said Kimberly's feet were a biohazard. Everyone cracked up. While Thomas played along, Bernilla leaned toward Kimberly and casually asked how the cuckolding experiment was coming along. A few of us guys nearly spit out our beers, me included. But then John chimed in like it was nothing, said Kimberly was currently juggling 3 guys and still had room for more. I felt like I'd been hit with a sledgehammer. Every instinct told me to yank John aside and ask him what the hell was wrong with him. Maybe give him a smack for good measure. Then I caught Julie's glare. You know, the kind that could make a volcano freeze. And I remembered I was a guest. I grabbed another beer instead. Where the hell was Captain Morgan when I needed him? Just when I thought I'd heard every crazy thing in the book, along came this. So there I was, playing the quiet husband, while John went on for 10 full minutes describing how arousing it was to watch his wife get tag-teamed. I couldn't take it. I excused myself and ducked into the bathroom, locked the door, spent 20 minutes whispering like a lunatic and trying to avoid having a full-blown breakdown loud enough for the party to hear. When I finally got a grip and cracked the door open, there was Bernilla, arms folded, with that look that said I'd just ruined her soiree. "What's the problem, Bernilla?" I asked, trying to sound calm. With that condescending tone she'd perfected since childhood, she accused me of being judgmental. Judgmental? I hadn't even said a word. I'd kept my mouth shut, just like Julie asked me to. But then Bernilla launched into this absurd monologue about how John letting Kimberly sleep around was actually a sign of deep love. Said it was making their marriage stronger. I couldn't hold back. I asked how in God's name letting your spouse sleep with other people could make a marriage better. She looked at me like I'd drowned a puppy. I guess being the older brother, she expected me to just get it. Truth is, half the time I don't even understand my own wife. And we've been together 11 years. "Matthew, you've got to embrace new experiences," she told me. So I turned the question back on her, asked if her husband Thomas was on board with this new lifestyle trend. She dodged it, of course, and started ranting about what men need to do after they've cheated. I pressed again. "So is Thomas part of this brave new world or not?" I asked. Finally, she admitted she hadn't even talked to him yet. She was waiting for John to break the ice with the rest of us first. For the first time ever, I wanted to slap my own sister. "Bernilla, you've absolutely lost it," I told her. If you ask Thomas and he signs off on this, fine. I'll babysit while you go out prowling. I'll even wax your damn car. But don't ever think you're getting alone time with my wife again." And with that, I went back out to the yard. John was surrounded by Kimberly, Julie, and a couple other wives, all giggling like they were planning brunch. The guys were around the grill, waiting on me. Thomas asked what I thought about the whole thing. I didn't hold back. "Thomas, if Julie ever pulls something like that, I'll be out of the house before you even scratch your left nut. I won't tolerate that garbage. If I ever catch her cheating, past, present, or even thinking about it, she'll be holding divorce papers before her boyfriend's zipper cools off. John can live however he wants, but count me the hell out." After my little outburst, Julie came over and said it was time to leave. We said our goodbyes and headed for the car. The second we pulled out of Bernilla's driveway, 45 minutes from home, Julie started in with, "You really shouldn't knock a lifestyle until you've experienced it." I had to ask myself, should I start this war now or wait until I'm intimate again? Like I said, I'm a loser. I bit my tongue. All the way back, Julie talked about John as if he were some kind of visionary. I wanted to shout, "If John is so perfect, why don't you marry him?" We finally got home. She reached over and started rubbing my leg. I thought, all right, game on. If I play this right, maybe I'll even score again in the morning. And that night, it was incredible. No complaints here. But then came the setup. Julie flipped a switch. For 7 straight days, it was like we were newlyweds, non-stop affection, at least twice a day. But by day 8, I could feel something shift. She came in with that careful, rehearsed voice. "Matthew, can we talk? Promise you won't get upset?" "Sweetheart," I said, "after this past week you could ask for just about anything, and I'd probably say yes." She hesitated, then pressed on with her usual soft-spoken lines. "Matthew, I love you. I love you more with each passing day, but maybe it's time we brought a little excitement into the marriage." And right then, alarms started blaring in my head. But she held up a hand. "Just let me finish, okay?" You never even let me get a word in before shooting me down. I said, "Darling, you're absolutely right. Go ahead, vent all you want, and once you're done, I'll still say no." That's when Julie hit me with her latest absurdity. If I truly loved her, really loved her, I'd agree to be a willing cuckold for a week. She turned on the charm offensive, eyes wide like a cartoon deer, lips trembling, the whole wounded damsel routine. Broke my heart. Not really. I told her, "Julie, I do love you. I'd bend over backward to see you happy. I want a future with you, growing old together, raising kids, doing the whole thing." "But this," I said, "this insane idea? Not a chance. Try suggesting it again and I'll light a match to this house and vanish into the Canadian wilderness. You want a cuckold? Go buy a parrot." With that, I got up and walked out. My feet led me to Angel's, the sports bar that knows me by name. Clark, the bartender, is a genius with a Long Island iced tea. "Clark, my guy," I said, "start me a tab. 1 beer, 1 Long Island, and keep 'em coming." I was drowning my irritation when, of all people, John and Thomas walked in. They flanked me like bodyguards, each with a look that said I'd just committed a war crime. John leaned in. "Matthew, what the hell was that at the barbecue? You nearly blew the whole thing. We've had it scheduled for weeks." I guess my face gave away how lost I was, because Thomas gave me a friendly smack on the back. "Just sit still. You need to hear this." Turns out, John and Thomas had been covertly recording Kimberly and her trio of side guys. John played along with her schemes to avoid getting destroyed in the divorce. His lawyer had told him straight. In Texas, infidelity still counts for something. What Kimberly didn't know was that she and her newest boyfriend were planning a setup, trying to drag John into a threesome so she could claim it was all consensual. John wasn't having it. But if he could prove she was cheating and he wasn't complicit, the leverage would be his. And at that very moment, as we sipped our drinks, Kimberly was getting slapped with papers. John had agreed to let her keep the house, the car, even access to some accounts. I couldn't help asking, why the hell give her anything? She did you dirty and didn't even try to hide it. John just gave me that sly smile he reserves for times like this. The house? It's a financial grenade, stacked with second and third mortgages. Bank'll repo it before winter. The car? Leased. Haven't paid on it in 7 months. My paycheck's been going into my mom's account this whole time. Far as the IRS or Kimberly knows, I'm supporting her. She's been laundering it offshore. He shrugged. My mom always said Kimberly was trash. Should have listened. The drinks didn't stop, and eventually, I needed a ride. Think I made it home around 3 in the morning, but don't quote me. I only got as far as the garden bed. Time didn't matter at that point. Julie heard the racket and came out to find me passed out in her rose bushes. That earned me a half-hour sermon the second I stirred. Then came the bucket of cold water, followed by the dog licking my face. And to top it off, she drenched my favorite recliner just for spite. "Who shoved a broomstick up your spine?" I asked. Julie just narrowed her eyes and asked, "Matthew, did you know?" I squinted. "Know what?" "Kimberly got divorce papers and an eviction notice last night." "Great," I said. "Now she's got a clear runway to sleep with whoever she wants." "So you did know?" Julie snapped. "No, I didn't," I said. "I just bumped into John and Thomas by accident." Then I added, "So, what's the little homewrecker doing now?" Julie gave me that look, stern but pleading. "Matthew," she said, "Kimberly needs somewhere to stay, just for a few days. She's going through a lot." I sighed. "Fine, but I have no clue how she and Spike are going to share the doghouse." Julie didn't find that amusing. "That's not funny. She's our friend. She needs support." "She needs a trauma surgeon to bolt her knees shut," I muttered. Still, I gave in. Kimberly took the guest room, but I called John to check first. He didn't care where she went, said she could rot for all he cared. She lasted less than a week. One evening, she and Julie were out back drinking wine. Next thing I know, I hear glass breaking and screaming. Julie stormed into the house, red-faced and fuming. "Matthew, get this shameless troll out of my house," she shouted. Then she turned on Kimberly like a hurricane. "I cannot believe I let you in. Pack your crap and go. Now." After the dust settled and I'd put out the metaphorical fires, something struck me. A lot of women are surprisingly chill about sharing a man, just as long as it's not their man. Funny how that works. This story has come to an end. What's your opinion? Share it in the comments, my friend. And if you liked this story, check out other exciting videos on my channel. I'll say goodbye until the next video. See you.